Hello, welcome to the next video, another one in decorating platter rims. When will the series end? Before we get started, thanks very much Mike Atkinson from MSA Wood Creation in Illinois. My first transatlantic sticker, thanks very much. One's on its way to you. And in this week's video, I'm really indebted to a demonstration by Ed Oliver that I saw at South Downs Woodturners in September, where he showed this spiraling technique. My version is different from what he showed, but that's where the ideas come from, of the spiraling. He used Joe Sonia iridescent paints, and this was a bigger piece of work as well. And I've sanded mine back a bit. Perhaps it gives sort of thinner lines than the ones that Ed showed, but if you're watching Ed, or if you do watch this at some point, thanks very much for the inspiration behind this. Right, going to use the Sorby texturing tool. Until now I've been using it on a lot of the backs of the platters to put some texture on the back, give them a more high-end look and design. But today I'm going to use this on the front of the blank, and then use some colouring, maybe some airbrushing, possibly some dabbing, can't quite decide. My more recent airbrushing experiments have been a little perhaps avant-garde, bilious possibly to some of your eyes, so maybe something a little tamer today. So let's get on. Now that's a much shallower angle than I've used the tool with before. I do like this swirling pattern that it's given. Quite a little bit of tearing. It's not going to be the smoothest of finishes, and really I shouldn't have taken it to the edge, so I'm going to have to do a bit of shaping and tidying up of that. But I think this is going to make quite an interesting look. The idea is to spray this now and then sand, and the sanding I hope will leave a swirl of black, which I'll then be able to put some decoration over the top of. Right, it's had a good 15-20 minutes, perfectly dry now. Probably could have come in back and got on with it a little bit sooner. So just going to sand it all back now, leaving a pattern I hope of swirly lines and a bit of the texture, and then some colour over the top. Okay, it's been a little while since I did some dabbing, and dabbing is what we're going to do over the top of this. I want to get a sort of quite a sort of mottled look, is the idea. Yellow and orange, bit of red. They seem to be the colours I keep coming back to. So just kitchen roll and gloves and spirit stain. That's all you need for this one. Forgot to put the sanding sealer on, so I'll put some on now, be able to sand it off from the middle. And I'm not going for a high gloss finish with this one, with the high build high coat lacquer that I've been using, so I'll put some chestnut on after, chestnut acrylic gloss after this. Now on with some lacquer. Probably about 3 coats. Right, the varnish has been drying for 24 hours or so, the lacquer, just using 1200 grit, very fine paper, just lightly sanding over the top, one or two high spots, but because there's a texture in it, it's not going to be a very smooth rim anyway, but I just want to take off any sharp points. Right, then all that's left is to sand the middle and finish that. Right, that's been sanded down to 240. Now, one of the problems I've had in the past is when I've put sanding sealer on here, just catches the edge and it makes an issue. Has to be cleared away. So at Yandel's September show, I picked up a pot of this cut and polish from Chestnut products, which I'm going to finish the middle with. It's a grit suspended in a wax, I suppose. I finally remembered the name, cut and polish. I kept calling it cut and go for some reason. I guess I was thinking of a popular 80s shampoo and conditioner. Right, here we go. So this is what it looks like inside, and the instructions: sand up to 240 grit recommended, put a small amount while the lathe is stationary, leave for about 60 seconds, then use the same piece of cloth with the lathe on, putting gentle pressure on. So let's give it a go. I don't know if you can see, it's beginning to build a nice shine up, and it's avoiding my sometimes enthusiastic spreading of sanding sealer in the middle. So let's put a nice shine on it, nice smooth finish. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. Now, a bit of dust still on there from that earlier sanding, so let's clean that off. Nice smooth glossy surface. Where I just cut this back with the 1200, that's very nice and smooth to the touch. The rim perhaps is a little thin. I think I'd do a bit of tidying up on that, and then we're done. Yep, happier with that. I find that the back sometimes picks up the odd bit of dust, so before I take it off the lathe, I'm just going to touch that up very lightly with the yellow Chestnut abrasive. And that just gives me a bit of a sheen on the back, nice smooth finish. So take it out of the lathe. Yeah, that's very nice, a very different effect. I've not had this swirl pattern before. If you've seen my other videos, you've seen a smaller bowl with some texture that I put on with the Proxon angle grinder. But there we are, there's the back as well. Bit of texturing on the back, paying attention to detail, and I'll go and take some still photos. It's a nice diffuse light outside for doing that, and I hope the close-ups will give you a clearer idea of what the whole bowl looks like. The platter, quite a large surface for me in the middle, and a little change from the two full colour ones that I've done in the last couple of videos. Okay, thanks very much for watching.